A person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts. So, he loses touch with reality and lives in a world of illusions. By thoughts, I mean specifically chatter in the skull, perpetual and compulsive repetition of words, of reckoning and calculating. I'm not saying that thinking is bad. Like everything else, it's useful in moderation. A good servant, but a bad master. And all so-called civilized peoples have increasingly become crazy and self-destructive because through excessive thinking they have lost touch with reality. That's to say, we confuse science with the real world.
So today is actually another one of our meetups. So we was actually here last time, nearly a year ago. You definitely need to have goals that humble you as well, but you also need to have goals that stretch you further.
This is the beginning of meditation.
And let's take this momentum into 2019.
I'm not trying to put you down. It's an expression of you as you are. One must live. We need to survive, to go on. We must go on.
We will lay the foundations, show you the processes, teach you the strategies, evolve your level of thinking, but most importantly, teach you how to execute it. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you enjoyed that kind of inspirational montage of that project that I started 3.5 years ago. So I really want to talk about something that I think is a really, really important message, which is the word vision. Now, from what you just saw, it just pumps me up every single time. I'm super inspired when I see that and see what's happened with that project. See, I started that project over 3.5 years ago and it's blossomed into something incredible. And I will touch on that in a little bit more in this video, but one thing I want to get across and talk about, which is really, really important when we're setting goals, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're someone who's just involved in business or anything in that regard, is you need to have a bigger vision of what you want. And I mean, just now sat in my home gym, and again, this is something that I've had a vision for so long. It's not ready yet, by the way. There's still more equipment to come and other things. And I've always had a vision of having my kind of home gym that overlooks a swimming pool, all that kind of stuff. And it's crazy when I sit here and I think, right, I had this vision, I mapped this out and I made it happen, I brought it into reality. And it kind of made me thought about the project, going back to Falcon. When I started it 3.5 years ago, I always had a vision of what I have for it. And I think what happens with people in general, they get a little bit discouraged with their goals and they kind of go off track a little bit. But I want to kind of link it to fitness a little bit, because of course I've just showed you the gym, but I think this will make a little bit of sense for people. So let's say, for example, because you might be thinking, how do I know if I'm being swayed for the vision? How do I know that I'm still focusing on the vision itself? Well, think of it like this. Let's say that your goal is to be as healthy as you can be. Maybe that's one of your goals, right? You just want to be as fit as you can be. You want to be healthy. You want to be healthy for your kids, whatever it may be. Your overall goal and your vision of yourself is just to maintain that healthy lifestyle, right? It might not be, you might not want to be a bodybuilder or anything like that. You just want to be a healthy individual. That's great. Now, along those goals, when you're working out, when you're training and things like that, you might come to a point where originally you didn't want to put on any, crazy size. You just wanted to be lean. Now, during that period, you might train for a year and then decide, you know what, I do actually want to bulk up. Maybe I want to go for a bulking session and then I'll cut after. Now, the vision of yourself hasn't changed. You still want to be healthy. You still want to be a healthy dad, healthy husband, whatever it may be, but the goals might have changed throughout. And what tends to happen is that when we're focusing on goals and if we don't have a bigger vision of what we want, we tend to just kind of do this goal and do this goal. And we kind of find ourselves ticking off these goals, but we never really know exactly why we're doing what we're doing. And the only way that I've personally stayed on track overall is because I've always known my vision. So hopefully that made sense and that resonates with you, and you kind of get the point that I'm trying to make here, is that when I think about anything I've ever done, anything I've ever started, have I changed my goals throughout? Have they pivoted slightly? Yes, of course. And that's fine, just like I related back to fitness. It doesn't mean that you're not incongruent with your vision. It just means that you might feel a certain way a year into whatever goals you're focusing on. Now, the vision that I've had for my life and the life of abundance that I want to live, the kind of person I want to become, the things that I want to do, the impact that I want to leave in the world, that vision is very much the reality, but my goals along the way have changed. Sometimes there's been goals that I really thought that I was inspired to do and I was really focused on, and a year down the line, I've actually pivoted ever so slightly. And it's the same with Falcon. Falcon, I've always had the vision from the very beginning is that I just want people to be happy. I want people to be as happy as they can be, because the happier that they are, the more chance they have to succeed. And it's not something you would tend to talk about or focus on within trading, but you've got to understand that for those of you joining the channel for the first time, by the way, I created a project called, I probably didn't give that a bit of context, so I created a project called FalconFX 3.5 years ago. And it's an education community to help people inspire, guide, educate, and evolve as many traders all around the world. And that mission is very much a reality, and the vision is a reality. But the goal for me was not just, look, the strategy is the strategy, the processes are the processes, but if I can help people tap into, and this is why we don't just talk about trading, we go into personal development a lot. Through my experience, if I can help people tap into being the best versions of themselves, they stand a higher chance to succeed in trading. Because you've got to understand, it's not about the individual learning how to trade. There's lots of different ways to trade and to make money. But if you're not a happy individual, if you're not comfortable with yourself, if you don't have a bigger vision of where your goals lie, then what chance do you think you have of succeeding in anything, let alone trading? Trading is one of the most difficult things I've ever done in my life. And for a lot of people, anyone who is a trader, you'll resonate with that. It's not easy. It will test you. You have to become a certain type of individual. So I would rather push the message of going inwards and becoming the best version of yourself. You drastically increase the chances of you succeeding as a trader. So for me, it's not the most attractive answer to go down that route all the time, but guess what? The vision of what I've had for Falcon from the day one has stayed the same. The goals along the way, they've changed for the positive way. Sometimes I thought, right, I'm going to go down this route. Well, then we've added more stuff that has benefited people's lives and made more impact. So it's not about, don't feel disheartened if, let's say, you've got goals and you think that, oh, I had these goals and I didn't achieve them. Well, normally 9 times out of 10, whatever goal you're focusing on, you're probably not as inspired as what you once thought originally. So if you have to really motivate yourself, you have to really pump yourself up, you're not as inspired. It's not as important to you as what you might think. And you've got to come to a point where, who are you kidding? Because you know yourself, and when you're alone with yourself, you've got to deal with that. So you've got to go deeper. You've got to know your why and think about your vision. So the kind of undertone message that I hope you take from this, and I really want you to get this across, because if I had more guidance and more clarity on my vision, I honestly believe I would have sped up my process to success, or the goals that I've achieved, a lot quicker. It would have been more efficient, because I just would have been clear on my why. And I encourage you, for wherever you are in the world, I thank you for tuning in. And if the one thing I want you to take away from this is go inwards, take a step back and even just take a journal and start writing things down. What actually is the vision for my life? Because sometimes we do things and we don't even think about, yeah, but what type of lifestyle do you want? So it's not always about what you're doing, whether you're a trader, whether you're an entrepreneur and you're doing other e-commerce business, whatever, drop shipping, whatever it may be. You've got to think about sustainability, and you've got to think about what is your lifestyle like. Because if you can tap into being the happiest individual you can be, I promise you, there is a direct correlation between people that succeed or not. And it's to do with being happy. It's to do with being comfortable in your own skin. Because when you're happy, you'll go through the hurdles. You'll be able to push through a lot more than what somebody else does, because they're not actually motivated anyway. They're just doing it for money. So it's not a big enough why. That's why you have to go inwards if you want that big outcome. So I hope this resonates with you, and I hope this is an inspirational video that you can come back to and think, do you know what? I'll go back to this video and I'll remember, right, what is my vision? Let's get back to the vision, because that is what is going to take you through. That's what's going to achieve your goals. No one's going to achieve your goals for you but you. So remember, guys, tap into the vision and make sure that you're incongruent with that. If your goals pivot along the way, that's fine. As long as you stay focused on the vision, then you'll achieve your goals. But guys and girls, again, I thank you for tuning in, and I hope you've enjoyed this kind of style of content. If you like, this is the first kind of time on this channel that I've spoken about Falcon. It's something very close to my heart, and we've got so many exciting things coming for Falcon. I'm very excited for the community as we always innovate and we're always leveling up. So the plans that we've got, I mean, 3.5 years of what we've done right now, we're literally scratching the surface for what's to come for that project. And if you are interested in the trading space, you've been thinking about that, of course, head over to the FalconFX channel if you want more specific stuff. We've got tons of free stuff on there. You can learn, gauge an insight into see if it's something that you're interested in. But again, thanks for tuning in. I hope you have an incredible weekend ahead. And let us know in the comments if you want to know more about that, or if you're interested in any other parts when I'm talking about things like the vision or visualization. Let me know if you'd want me to tap into that, give you a few techniques that has helped me in my life. But have an incredible weekend. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys and girls very, very soon. Take care, everyone.